Hello students, I welcome you all to the class on General Knowledge and Current Affairs for the month of December 2018. Let's have a look at the contents. We'll go through the national news, international news, the game section, some important awards and the space section. Let's start with the national news first. The very first news says, Centre has launched NCAP to combat air pollution. NCAP stands for the National Clean Air Program. So it's a program that has been launched by the central government. Let's read the news. The centre has launched the National Clean Air Program, a program to reduce particulate matter. What is particulate matter? Students, particulate matter is a term which is used for a sum total of liquid and solid particles suspended in the air, some of which are very hazardous for the human health. Okay, so the motive of this program is to reduce particulate matter pollution by 20-30% in at least 102 cities by 2024. The National Clean Air Program, which was formally unveiled, is envisaged as a scheme to provide the states and centre with a framework to combat air pollution. So the main motive of National Clean Air Program is to combat air pollution in a very time-bound and comprehensive manner. So the World Health Organization's database on air pollution over the years has listed Tier 1 and Tier 2 Indian cities as some of the most polluted places in the world. In 2018, 14 of the world's 15 most polluted cities were in India, which is not at all a good news for India. So this was about NCAP, National Clean Air Program, launched by the central government. Let's move on to the next news now. Nandan Nilekani to head RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, which is the Central Bank of India. So Nandan Nilekani to head RBI's new panel on digital payments. Let's see what is this all about. The Reserve Bank of India constituted a high-level committee headed by former chairman of the Unique Identification Authority of India. So students, UIDAI, Unique Identification Authority of India, it's a statutory body which was set up by the government to give unique identification numbers to the citizens of India. So Nandan Nilekani is the former chairman of UIDAI. Okay, let's read now. Nandan Nilekani to set up a robust digital payments ecosystem in India. So what is the purpose of setting up this high-level committee? The purpose is to look into the digital payments ecosystem in India. What is the environment now in India regarding the digital payments? Role of the 5-member panel. Now we'll read what is the role that this panel will be playing. The very first point, to review the existing status of digitalization of payments. What is the existing status in India? Identify gaps in the ecosystem and suggest ways to plug them. Besides Aadhaar architect Nilekani, the other members of the panel are former RBI Deputy Governor H.R. Khan. So now we'll be reading the other members of this panel apart from Nandan Nilekani. So it's former RBI Deputy Governor H.R. Khan, former Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Vijaya Bank, that is Kishore Sansi, former Secretary in the Ministry of IT, Aruna Sharma, and Chief Innovation Officer at the Centre for Innovation, Incubation and Entrepreneurship, IIM Ahmedabad, that is Sanjay Jain. So this was a little information about a new panel on digital payments that has been set up by the Reserve Bank of India. Let's move ahead now. 106th session of Indian Science Congress concludes in Jalandhar. So 106th session of Indian Science Congress 2019 concluded in lovely professional university at Jalandhar in Punjab. The 5-day session was inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and attended by Dr. Harsh Vardhan. Who is Dr. Harsh Vardhan? He is the Union Science and Technology Minister. So the 5-day session was inaugurated on 3rd of Jan 2018. As a part of the ISC, that is Indian Science Congress, Women's Science Congress was also held, which was inaugurated by Smriti Zubin Irani, who is the Union Minister for Textiles and Industries, and concluded by Prakash Javadekar, who is the Union HRD Minister, that is Human Resource Development Minister. Science Communicators Meet was inaugurated by Ravi Shankar Prasad, who is the Minister for Electronics and IT. So along with this news, we also came to know about some of the important ministers of the central ministry. So students, the Indian Science Congress 2019 was held in Jalandhar in Punjab, and the theme of the Indian Science Congress 2019 was Future India, Science and Technology. I hope that is clear. Now let's move on to the next news. India's Arunima, world's first woman amputee to scale Antarctic peak. Let's read about this news now. Indian mountaineer Arunima Sinha has now become the world's first female amputee to climb Mount Vinson, which is the highest peak of Antarctica. So Mount Vinson, the highest peak of Antarctica, and Arunima Sinha became the first female amputee to climb this mountain. In 2013, Sinha had broken the world record by becoming the first woman amputee to climb Mount Everest, which is the highest peak of the world. A former national level volleyball player, Arunima, had lost her left leg after being thrown off a moving train and getting hit by another in 2011. So she is a Padma Shri awardee. Padma Shri awardee Sinha has already scaled 5 peaks. What are those 5 peaks? Mount Everest, Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Elbrus, Mount Kosciuszko, and Mount Aconcagua. So this was about Arunima Sinha, who became the world's first woman amputee to scale an Antarctic peak, that is Mount Vinson. I hope that's clear. Let's move on to the next news now. Vijay Mallya, first tycoon to be named fugitive economic offender. The students, as you all know, in the year 2016-17, Vijay Mallya, a very popular business tycoon, he was charged with the fraud of rupees 9,000 crore. Vijay Mallya became the first tycoon to be charged under a new anti-fraud law, with a court in Mumbai naming him as an offender under the Fugitive Economic Offenders Act 2018. So under the Fugitive Economic Offenders Act, which was enacted in 2018 itself, so Vijay Mallya became the first tycoon to be named as Fugitive Economic Offender under this particular act by the Mumbai court. The Anti-Corruption Court was hearing an application by the Enforcement Directorate seeking a direction to declare Mr. Mallya a fugitive economic offender. So this was about the former owner of Kingfisher Airlines, Vijay Mallya. Let's move on to the next news. Sudhir Bhargav appointed as the new CIC, that is new Chief Information Commissioner. Centre has appointed Sudhir Bhargav as the new CIC, that is Chief Information Commissioner. 4 new members have also been appointed to CIC, taking its strength to 7. So presently there are 7 members in CIC now. 4 vacancies still remain. Mr. Bhargav, who was a former secretary to the Social Justice Ministry, has been a commissioner since June 2015. He will be the 9th chief of the CIC. The CIC, what is the CIC now? Chief Information Commission, what is it? It is the highest appeal body under the Right to Information Act. So it came into existence in 2005 when the Right to Information Act was enacted. It has been functioning with just 3 members since the former chief and several members completed their tenure last month. So this was about the new Chief Information Commissioner, Sudhir Bhargav. Let's see the next news now. Giga Atomic Power Station sets new world record. Karnataka's Giga Atomic Power Station created a world record for the longest uninterrupted operation for 962 days on December 10. So Giga Atomic Power Station, which is located in Karnataka, it set a world record for the longest uninterrupted operation for the period of 962 days. It had earlier set a record of 941 days. The earlier record of 940 days by Hesham 2 Unit 2 was set up by the United Kingdom. So earlier this record of 940 days was set up by a plant in United Kingdom. Generating Station 1 at Giga in Uttar Kannada, Karnataka has now been shut down for maintenance after 962 days of operation. It will be commissioned again after the maintenance activities. Nuclear Power Corporation of India said that during its continuous operation of 962 days, KGS-1 had produced 5 billion units of electricity at a plant load factor of 99.3%. So Giga has 4 indigenously developed pressurized heavy water reactors of 220 megawatts. So Giga has 4 indigenously developed pressurized heavy water reactors. They are indigenously built, that is, they are built in India itself. Each fueled by domestic fuel. Of them, KGS-2 has been operating since the last 661 days. So this was a little piece of information regarding the Giga atomic power station set up in Karnataka, and it has set up a new world record. Let's move ahead. Veer Savarkar International Airport in Port Blair declared as an authorized immigration checkpost. Information, Public Relations and Tourism Division of Andaman and Nicobar Administration announced that the Veer Savarkar International Airport in Port Blair will be an authorized immigration checkpost. Students, Port Blair is the capital of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which is the Union Territory of India. Superintendent of Police, Andaman and Nicobar Police, has been appointed as the civil authority for the purpose of the immigration checkpost. So, the Veer Savarkar International Airport in Port Blair in Andamans has been named or has been authorized as the immigration checkpost. This would work as an entry into and exit point from India with valid travel documents for all classes of passengers. And students, Andaman Nicobar Islands, as you should all know, that it is also the largest union territory area-wise, and Port Blair is the capital of Andaman Nicobar Islands. I hope that's clear. Now let's move on to the next news. T.B. Radhakrishnan sworn in as first Chief Justice of Telangana High Court. Justice T.B. Nayar Radhakrishnan has been serving as the Chief Justice of the combined High Court of the 2 Telugu states since July last year. So earlier there was a single High Court for both the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, but now a separate Telangana High Court has been established and T.B. Radhakrishnan has been sworn in as the Chief Justice of this court. Telangana High Court came into existence on January 1, 2019 after the bifurcation of the High Court at Hyderabad. Justice Praveen Kumar was sworn in as the acting Chief Justice of Andhra Pradesh High Court, which also came into existence on the same day. Okay, so this was about the new Chief Justice of Telangana High Court. Let's move ahead now. Vinod Kumar Yadav appointed as Railway Board Chairman. General Manager of South Central Railway, Vinod Kumar Yadav, has been appointed as the Chairman of Railway Board and ex officio Principal Secretary to the Government of India. His appointment came after Ashwani Lohani's superannuation on Monday, that is on 31st of December. So earlier, Railway Board Chairman was Ashwani Lohani. Vinod Kumar Yadav belongs to the 1980 batch of the Indian Railway Service of Electrical Engineers. So this is another important appointment of Railway Board Chairman. It's Vinod Kumar Yadav. Let's see the next news now. Okay, now we'll go through the international section. Malala Yousafzai has written a new book titled We Are Displaced. Malala Yousafzai, the Nobel Peace Prize winner and Pakistani activist, has written a new book titled We Are Displaced. So students, Malala Yousafzai, as you know, is a very popular figure, a Pakistani activist for female education. She's been known for human rights advocacy, especially the women and children rights. So she has written a new book now which has been titled as We Are Displaced. Let's see what this book talks about. So in We Are Displaced, charting her experiences traveling the world and visiting refugee camps. Publishers Wiedenfeld Nicholson and Hachette India said that her travels through the refugee camps led her to reconsider her own displacement. In We Are Displaced, Malala not only explores her own story of adjusting to a new life while longing for home, but she also shares the personal stories of some of the incredible girls she has met on her various journeys, girls who have lost their community, relatives, and often the only world they've ever known. So, a worth read book by Malala Yousafzai, which has been titled We Are Displaced. Let's move ahead now. Pranav R. Mehta becomes first Indian to head Global Solar Council. a visionary in the field of solar energy and the chairman of National Solar Energy Federation, Pranav R. Mehta, takes over as the president of Global Solar Council. He has become the first Indian to head Global Solar Council. So he became the first Indian to head this body, Global Solar Council. The Global Solar Council was launched on December 6, 2015. So it was launched in 2015 following the historic United Nations Climate Change Conference. So students, the Global Solar Council is an international non-profit organization of various national, regional and international associations in the field of solar energy. So now this is Pranav R. Mehta, the first Indian to head Global Solar Council, which came into being in 2015. Let's move ahead now. Amazon overtakes Microsoft to become world's most valuable company. Amazon was valued at $810 billion as compared to Microsoft at $789 billion. Amazon was founded by Jeff Bezos in 1994. So this is a very important information. When was Amazon founded? It was founded in 1994 by Jeff Bezos, and it now became the world's most valuable company at $810 billion. Amazon achieved its record market capitalization of $1 trillion in September last year. Following Amazon as the most valuable company in the world are Microsoft, Alphabet Inc. and Apple. So this was regarding the world's most valuable company, that is Amazon. Now the next news. India-born Geetha Gopinath joins IMF, that is International Monetary Fund, as first women chief economist. Mysore-born Geetha Gopinath has joined International Monetary Fund as its chief economist, becoming the first woman to occupy the top IMF post. She succeeds Maurice Obstfeld, who retired on December 31st. Ms. Gopinath considers the perceived threat from globalization as one of the top challenges being faced by IMF. Regarding IMF, it was founded in the year 1945 and its headquarters are located at Washington, United States of America. Let's move ahead now. World Bank Group President Jim Yong Kim to step down on February 1st. World Bank President Jim Yong Kim on January 7 announced that he will step down from his position on February 1st, much before the end of his term in 2022. So his term was going to end on 2022, but he will be stepping down this year itself on February 1st. Kim, 58, has been in this position for over 6 years now. Kristalina Georgieva, who is the World Bank CEO, will assume the role of interim president effective February 1st. So who will become the interim president? It is Kristalina Georgieva. Regarding World Bank headquarters are situated at Washington, D.C. in United States. I hope that is clear. Let's move ahead. Sheikh Hasina sworn in as Bangladesh PM for third consecutive term. Sheikh Hasina's Awami League-led alliance won 288 of the 298 seats in the December 30 election. President Abdul Hamid, so who is the president of Bangladesh? It's Abdul Hamid, and newly elected Prime Minister is Sheikh Hasina. It is her third consecutive term. So President Abdul Hamid administered the oath of office to 71-year-old Hasina at the Banga Bhavan. This is Hasina's fourth term in office overall. Hasina will lead a cabinet of 24 ministers, 19 ministers of state and 3 state ministers. Hasina was first elected Prime Minister in 1996. So she was elected, the first fall she was elected as a Prime Minister in the year 1996, then again in 2008 and 2014. So this will be her fourth term overall, but a third term consecutively if we see. Let's move ahead. Jair Bolsonaro takes oath as new president of Brazil. Mr. Bolsonaro, 63, won the presidential election by a wide margin against Fernando Haddad of the left-wing Workers' Party. So it is Jair Bolsonaro who is the new president of Brazil. Regarding Brazil, the capital of Brazil is Brasilia and the currency is Brazilian real. So this is a small information about Brazil. Let's move ahead. Sweden ranked first in Climate Action CCPI, which stands for Climate Change Performance Index. So Climate Change Performance Index reported that Sweden has been named as the first best performing country in the CCPI 2019 list. CCPI evaluates the climate protection performance of 60 countries. So what is CCPI? It's an index which evaluates, which analyzes the climate protection performance of 60 countries, responsible for over 90% of global energy related CO2 emissions. So this is what CCPI does. Now Morocco has been named second in this index. Morocco, which is a North African country, significantly increased the share of renewables over the past 5 years and increased new renewable energy capacity. So it has been ranked second in the list. Lithuania is in the third position of CCPI 2019. Now we'll have a look at the bottom 5 also. The bottom 5 in the list are Saudi Arabia, US, Iran, South Korea and Taiwan. With the connection of the world's largest solar plant to the grid, Morocco is on track for achieving its target of 42% installed renewable energy capacities by 2020. So this was about CCPI, the Climate Change Performance Index, which has been topped by Sweden. Let's move ahead.